Just when I thought everything was over, I ran into the bell of the computer science department right at the bottom of my dorm building. Facing her unblocked Facebook, she said with a smirk, "Baby, didn't you say you missed me so much you couldn't sleep?" Her words hit like a ton of bricks, petrifying. If I could have performed Peking opera on stage at that moment, I'd have surely taken home a gold medal. But instead, I forced myself to stay calm. "Classmate, I think you've mistaken me for someone else," I stammered, though my trembling voice carried no conviction. "Oh really?" She tapped her phone a few times, and moments later, mine rang. A text popped up. "Are you alive? I'm so tired. Just let me rest for a bit." Then she hung up, and the ringing stopped. My thoughts spiraled into despair, not just a little, but a lot. Seizing the opportunity, I snatched my delivery package from her hands and bolted toward the dorm entrance. My speed rivaled Linda's at his peak as I raced all the way up 6 flights of stairs. By the time I reached my room, I was gasping for air. "Alice, it's like you've seen a ghost." "It's worse than a ghost, it's horrifying." No, I laughed nervously. I was just thirsty and rushed back to drink water. Lindaing on my bed, I tossed and turned, racking my brain trying to figure out where things went wrong. The name I gave her was fake, and so was the phone number, the one I'd already blocked. Could it be the food delivery address? But even that wasn't linked to this building. And I'd used a fake name there too. How had I not realized she might be someone from school? Still, her delivery address wasn't tied to campus either. I pondered until 1 a.m., unable to find an answer. Finally, my eyelids began to droop, and I drifted off to sleep. Perhaps the shock of the day lingered in my dreams because I found myself dreaming about Barkley again. "Aliciane, huh? How dare you reject me? I'll have my loyal followers teach you a lesson. You just wait. Your good days at school are over." In the dream, a group of guys surrounded me, beating me up while I helplessly curled into a ball, unable to fight back. "Alice, wake up, or you'll be late for your 8 a.m. class." I jolted awake with a scream. "What's wrong?" My roommate looked at me, concerned. "I'm fine, just a nightmare," I muttered. At the classroom, I slumped over my desk, exhausted, trying to catch some sleep, but it was impossible. What if she really did take revenge on me like in the dream? Maybe I should have just let her yell at me instead of pulling such a stunt. Now karma's come knocking. My mind wandered back to how it all started. As a dedicated player of Honor of Kings, or Pesticide. As we joke, my greatest joy is holing up in my dorm, climbing ranks in the game. Admittedly, passion doesn't always equate to skill, and I'm living proof of that. After 3 years stuck in Starlight, I've never made it to King rank. But hey, I live by the motto, enjoy the process. Don't obsess over results. Every chance to dive into Summoner's Rift is precious. That weekend, my roommates were out shopping while I stayed behind. As usual, I pulled out my phone and dove into a 5v5 battle. Predictably, it was the same old story. Wins and losses balanced each other out. I was used to it. After a few rounds, my stomach growled angrily. I opened a food delivery app, ordered some takeout, and jumped back into the game. Right as our crystal fell to the enemy team, the delivery guy called. I shuffled downstairs in my slippers, grabbed my food, and returned to the battlefield, eating and playing simultaneously, with our jungler sporting a ridiculous 10-0 kill streak. Victory seemed inevitable. Pushing into their base, everything seemed under control, until they suddenly unleashed chaos. As if hacking the game. Despite our best efforts, we crumbled under their relentless assault. Our jungler typed 6 dots in frustration. And after seeing the mid laner and marksman's abysmal stats, rage erupted in voice chat. Looking at my mediocre performance, stuck somewhere in the middle, I thought, if they're going to vent, at least they won't blame me. And then, miracle of miracles, she didn't scold me. Of course, another possibility crossed my mind. Maybe I'd accidentally muted her. Indeed, the enemy staged an epic comeback, crushing us completely. Back on the main menu, a friend request notification popped up. Curious, I clicked it open. Wasn't this the jungler from earlier? Surely, humanity still has kindness left in it. She must want to guide me to victory. But oh, how naive I was. The accompanying message read, "Did you play that Arthur with your toes? Stop feeding. Prat, if you suck, go practice more." Elementary school dropout. Her username was Maria, which ironically means, autumn breeze. Was this divine retribution for making me furious? As the saying goes, patience has its limits, and uncle here has none left. This insult cut deep. So, I opened her profile, took a screenshot, and then quit the game to reject her taunts. I headed to the campus mobile service center and got myself a new SIM card. Using it, I created a secondary account. After about half a month, the time was ripe. I pulled out the screenshot on my phone and logged into the secondary account. I began searching for her username and sent several friend requests, but she kept rejecting them. Tricky one, huh? I thought. Did you think I'd give up? Of course not. The harder they are to crack, the more thrilling the chase becomes. If soft persuasion doesn't work, it's time for some tough talk. Seriously? You're really playing hard to get. Are you scared of losing so much that you won't even accept my invite? Did someone else boost your win rate? Or what? After firing off those words, I ignored her completely and switched back to my main account to keep playing my trusty Arthur. A week later, I logged back into the secondary account. Sure enough, women can't resist being provoked. She finally accepted my friend request. But I didn't immediately ask her to play with me because our ranks were mismatched. Instead, every time she came online, I made sure to log in too. One day, she suddenly invited me to a game, and I accepted. Only after joining did I realize she was playing with people she knew. One of her friends told me to play support, but I declined, saying I wasn't good at it. In the end, this girl picked support herself. They were all incredibly skilled players. So naturally, the support role mostly revolved around me, and to everyone's surprise, my performance wasn't half bad. Gradually, I started playing with them more often and grew closer to the group. The result? My secondary account climbed all the way to King rank, while my main account remained stuck in Starlight, going nowhere. This wasn't exactly the outcome I had hoped for. One day, during a regular 5-player match, one of her buddies asked me, "Peter, how did you manage to add our jungler? She's usually super aloof and doesn't accept random invites. How did I do it?" First, I gave her a little sugar, then followed up with some spicy roast. I joked internally but outwardly, I played it cool to save face. "Oh, no, I just think she's really nice," I replied. I thought she seemed amazing, so I added her. Turns out, she is as incredible as I imagined. Honestly, she's the best player I've ever seen. The others chimed in teasingly. "Ooh, well, you guys are great too," I said with a laugh. But in my heart, she's still number one. More playful banter erupted, and I pretended to blush. "Oh, stop it, you guys. Focus on the game." At that moment, she spoke up in her signature high-pitched voice, which almost made me gag. Later on, I started inviting her to duo queue, and she didn't refuse. One day, we were playing together when an enemy duo relentlessly targeted me. They spammed messages mocking us. "Your team isn't doing well. Huh? Why are you always hiding under the tower? Baby, you're so good. Look at these two singing praises to each other." A light bulb went off in my head. Wasn't this the perfect opportunity? These two were truly heaven-sent angels. Just as I was about to pull a prank, our jungler swooped in and annihilated them. Every time they respawned, they died again instantly. Seeing the timing was right, I typed, "Baby, you're so good. No wonder you're my treasure. So pretty. I love it." Perhaps because there were many people in the chat, she didn't want to embarrass me and replied, "If you like it, then I'm happy." Meanwhile, the enemies lost their minds. "You cowards. Come fight us one-on-one if you dare. Both of you couldn't even beat one person. And now you want a solo duel? Dead, but still talking trash. The only thing harder than your gameplay is your mouths." I sent a laughing emoji. Heaven might collapse, but your sharp tongues will hold it up. After the match ended, she surprisingly sent me a message. "You're quite the chatterbox." No, not at all," I replied modestly. I confided in Maria that I'd secretly created a secondary account. He teased me endlessly about how sweet it was that I was duo queuing with her. Looking at my secondary account's rank, he scolded me. "You've been secretly leveling up behind my back. Or maybe I just piggybacked off someone else's skills." I joked. Given our rank disparity, we decided to play ranked matches instead. One day, she insisted that I pick Amelia, a support hero. "Oh, you wouldn't understand," she said. "I want to experience what it feels like to be a jungle king protecting a cute girl. If anyone dares to hit you, I'll avenge you. Tell them you're under my protection." And so, someone who usually plays tough male heroes begrudgingly picked Amelia. She went absolutely berserk, securing kills left and right, and demanded that I type, "Baby, you're amazing. You're so beautiful. I adore you." The result? We got utterly crushed by the enemy team, and our teammates mercilessly mocked us. But let me tell you, it was genuinely fun. Switch with me, let me protect you next. I said through the mic. No, 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 you play support again. This time, pick Emily. Why am I always stuck with support? I don't want to. I'll help you carry your packages. She teased, knowing exactly how to push my buttons. Fine, fine, I relented. And so, we embarked on a mode where we annoyed our teammates, irritated the enemy team, and somehow managed to irritate ourselves, all while clinging to each other like conjoined twins. When I saw her log in later, I didn't invite her to play right away. Instead, I continued my sweet duo queue with Maria. After we played a couple of matches, she suddenly sent me an invite, but ranked mode wasn't available for Maria. So, without hesitation, I declined her and said, let's play another time, I've got something to take care of. Before hopping back into games with Maria, continuing our chaotic antics, after nearly getting reported and banned from ranked matches, we finally decided to tone it down. The next day, I invited her as usual, and this time she insisted I pick support. You're so strong, why do you need support? I flattered her. Speak plainly, she shot back. Alright, fine. Truth is, I haven't really played much support. But I saw you playing support just yesterday. You did great. How do you know I was playing support yesterday? I asked, surprised. I just know. Anyway, if you're picking Amelia with me. She laughed triumphantly. Perfect, looks like my efforts have paid off. Was she jealous? If so, then I was definitely one step closer to success. Fine, but you can't complain if I'm terrible, I replied. And so, I started playing support, frequently complimenting her gameplay. Slowly, she began responding more warmly. No longer the icy figure she had been before. One weekend, we were 5 stacking again with her sisters. I picked Amelia but stuck close to one of her teammates instead of her. Peter, I thought you didn't know how to play support. When did you practice? Someone teased. Just a few days ago, I answered. She stayed silent, unusually quiet, whether it was due to being off her game or something else entirely. She kept dying repeatedly. You're not yourself today. Willian, why are you dying so much? One of her sisters remarked. Yeah, this isn't your usual level. Maybe Peter should pair up with her instead. Right, she's died so many times already. This never happened before. Alright, I'll go with her, I said reluctantly. Once paired together, her performance skyrocketed. Her economy became the highest on the team. But ironically, her sister who had previously thrived now started dropping like flies. It took all my willpower not to lash out. For the sake of the bigger picture, I swallowed my frustration. This pattern repeated over 2 consecutive matches. After the first match ended, she messaged me, I won't be playing anymore, I'm feeling a bit unwell. Hearing this, I seized the opportunity. Are you feeling unwell? Where does it hurt? Make sure to take medicine if needed. Okay? And drink plenty of warm water. No meds, she replied curtly. No meds? Can't you just buy some? What's wrong with you? Are you trying to get sick too? Can I have your Facebook? To my surprise, she actually sent it. Once added, I noticed her Moments feed was completely blank. Where do you feel unwell? My head hurts. Well, rest early then. Good night. Later, I contacted one of her sisters and found out her address. Through a delivery app, I bought medicine for her. Was I heartbroken about spending money? Of course I was, but hey, sometimes you gotta spend to gain. I knew her sister would tell her about my gesture, softening her heart. This was my perfect chance to confess when the moment felt right. Surely, she wouldn't reject me after all this effort. Man, I'm such a genius. How does anyone even come up with plans like this? Sure enough, the next morning, she messaged me. I'm feeling better. Thank you for buying medicine last night. How did you know it was me? I guessed it was you. Right? Thank you. No need to be so polite. Your health matters most. From then on, I frequently message her, checking in and offering companionship. During one gaming session, while I was playing Amelia alongside someone else, she asked, Linda, why aren't you playing those heroes you used to? Don't you want to protect people? Yes, but I also want to protect you. You're so strong, it's always you protecting others. The mood was set. Her response hinted at progress. If you're willing, I can protect you both in the game and in real life. Moved by her words, I almost jumped out of bed to attend my 8 a.m. class. Thank goodness my revenge plan hasn't hit a dead end. I immediately changed her contact name to B, not short for sweetheart or baby. But exactly what you think it means. Really? I love you, baby. Don't call me that, she snapped back. What's wrong? Does baby not suit you? Then I won't call you that anymore. Wife S? No, don't do that. Are you shy? No, I'm not. Alright, then I'll stick with calling you, baby. Barkley, if you like it, then that's all that matters. And just like that, we were officially in a whirlwind online romance. Every day, I forced myself to send her messages despite feeling utterly repulsed. Sometimes, I even had to endure voice calls. Her voice was undeniably beautiful. But as the saying goes, the better a girl's voice sounds, the uglier she probably is. The more I thought about it, the more nauseated I felt. So when she called, I'd occasionally pick up, or I'd make excuses like, my roommate's sleeping, or, the signal's bad. Thankfully, she didn't press too hard and rarely called after that. One day, she told me she was going to compete in a tournament and asked if I could cheer her on. Of course, believe in yourself, you're the best. And you'll definitely succeed, I replied half-heartedly. To my surprise, she seemed genuinely delighted. Then she asked, can we meet? What, meet? Who wants to meet you? I quickly made something up, vaguely implying that the timing wasn't right. She didn't push further but started sending me food deliveries instead. By the second month of our online relationship, she brought up meeting again. I refused once more, this time claiming I had a pimple and didn't want to ruin the image I'd built in her mind. I don't care about that, she insisted, but I stood firm, insisting how much I cared about appearances. Perhaps out of consideration for my pride, she let it go. We remained deeply in love, exchanging daily good mornings and good nights. With her constantly updating me on her schedule, it all felt oddly familiar, maybe because she was a student too. By the third month, she started calling me more frequently, and her messages doubled compared to before. Even her food deliveries became sneakier. I gave her an address 2 buildings away from mine. It was exhausting. I subtly hinted at slowing down, and though she paused for a few days, she soon resumed as if nothing happened. Meanwhile, I was busy climbing ranks on my main account. Under SB's guidance, my skills improved slightly, earning surprised screams from one of my teammates. Energized, I pushed harder. As the victory screen flashed, I exited the game and saw a Facebook notification pop up. Barkley, baby, I miss you so much. Let's meet. I stared at the message, realizing it had been 3 months since we started talking. It was time to show her the harsh realities of life. Alright, I want to see you too. Let's meet this Friday. Barkley, really? Of course, I've missed you so much. Baby, we agreed to meet at a cafe not far from campus. I thought my revenge plan was finally coming together. While she happily prepared for our meeting, I planned to reveal everything, that I'd only been playing along, and then block her on Facebook. Delete her number, and cut ties forever. Lost in the sweet taste of victory, I failed to notice the blow fate was about to deliver. That night, someone secretly photographed Barkley leaning close to whisper in my ear and uploaded it to the school forum. Within hours, it spread like wildfire across campus. And there I was, completely oblivious. Back in the dormitory, my roommates were glued to their phones, gasping and exclaiming, seeing them devour the drama. I couldn't help but ask, what are you guys looking at? Alice, even though you're not into gossip, you're seriously behind on this one. Don't tell me you haven't heard yet. Barkley's boyfriend is someone from our school. In fact, he lives in the same building as us. My heart sank. How do you know? The school forum's blowing up. Just check it out. I immediately opened my phone and clicked on the forum. A photo popped up. Barkley bending over, whispering into my ear while I stood awkwardly holding a pile of packages and bags. Oh my god, look at her bend down to talk to him. She's so into him. Is she picking up his deliveries? Romantic. I wish I could have such a sweet relationship. Her boyfriend may not have a clear face, but he's definitely handsome. Look at the vibe between them. It's perfect. My goodness, my heavens, my milk. Suddenly, one roommate piped up. Wait, doesn't this guy look kind of familiar? You're right, now that you mention it. The more I look, the more familiar he seems. Isn't that outfit similar to yours, Alice? As everyone turned to stare at me, I stammered awkwardly. It can't be me. It's just a coincidence. People wear similar clothes all the time. You know I don't leave the dorm much. How would I even know someone like Barkley? Yeah, you're right, they muttered reluctantly. Later, lying in bed, I wished desperately for a miracle. A holiday to whisk me away from this nightmare. Maria broke the silence. Honestly, isn't that guy in the picture you? I sighed, unable to deny it. For Maria, I hadn't lied. I admitted everything, giving a brief rundown of the events. What should I do, Maria? She's definitely going to kill me. Maria, maybe I should just jump off the bed and end it all. After all, I'm dead either way. Maria, why don't you pull her back so I can apologize? Maybe she won't hold a grudge? I can't, I stammered. Maria, there's no better solution than this. Just try. Fine, I sighed. Opening my blacklist, I stared at Barkley's profile picture. Never had an image felt so terrifying. Taking a few deep breaths, I removed her from the blacklist and carefully typed, "Classmate you, I'm really sorry for what I did. I apologize, it's all my fault. Please forgive me. You're a bigger person than this." I hit send, and almost instantly, she replied, "If you want my forgiveness, it's not impossible, but I have one condition." "I'm listening. Please tell me," I quickly responded. "Now everyone says I have a boyfriend, which makes it impossible for me to date anyone else. Super embarrassing. Right? So you need to compensate me with a boyfriend. Sis, if you want me dead, just say it. What kind of guy do you like?" "Someone like you. I'll endure, I muttered under my breath. "So what exactly are you saying?" "Barkley, pretend to be my boyfriend for 2 months, and then we'll call it even." "Barkley, of course, you can refuse. Barkley, if you do, I'll respond on the forum by saying you toyed with my feelings and dumped me." HMPH. So this is your trap. I could reconsider. I hesitated. "Barkley, fine, I'll agree to your terms. But I don't want any of this appearing on the forum." "Barkley, agreed." "Barkley, rest early. Good night, baby." Is she insane? First, she wants us to pretend to be boyfriend and girlfriend. And now she's acting just like during our online romance. No difference at all. Every morning, the moment I opened my eyes, I'd receive her "good morning." Out of obligation, I had no choice but to reply. Checking the forum later, I found that the photos of us had been completely deleted, and searches about her boyfriend topic turned up empty. She was surprisingly trustworthy. "Barkley, let's have lunch together." "Sis, we're pretending. Can you stop being so serious?" Of course, these words stayed in my head. I didn't dare say them aloud. After all, she called the shots. All right, after class, as soon as I stepped out of the classroom, I saw Barkley waiting outside. People occasionally glanced at her, whispering among themselves, "Why are you here? Didn't you say we'd eat together after class?" I forced an awkward smile. "All right, let's go." Walking side by side with her made me uneasy. Walking alongside a campus celebrity naturally drew attention. But to my relief, few people paid us much notice as we headed toward the cafeteria. Breathing a sigh of relief, I thought about what to eat. She asked me, and wanting to finish quickly and return to my dorm, I just ordered a bowl of dumplings. Unexpectedly, she ordered the same. Halfway through the meal, a group of girls approached. Spotting her, they greeted her warmly. "Barkley, you're back." "Yeah, I returned yesterday. I tried to make myself invisible, silently praying, 'Please don't see me, please don't see me.'" "Is this your boyfriend?" one of them asked. For some inexplicable reason, Barkley suddenly smiled gently at me. "Yes, this is my boyfriend." All I could do was awkwardly greet them. "Hello. We won't disturb your meal. We'll leave first. Let's hang out another time." Barkley nodded. "Sure, I'm done eating, so I'll head back first," I said hurriedly. "I'll walk you." No, it's fine." I waved my hands frantically. "Alice, as your boyfriend, it's only right that I walk you back." "But we're not," I started, glancing around at the curious stares from our classmates. Unable to continue, I gave up. She walked me to the dorm entrance. "I'll head up first. Bye-bye. Foden. Bye." I quickly turned and rushed upstairs. That evening, she messaged again. "Let's eat together." At this point, I felt like a hostess working 3 shifts a day, accompanying her for every meal. She still walked me back to the dorm. As I prepared to head upstairs, she suddenly reached out, startling me into stepping back. "Don't move," she commanded, and I froze. I felt her hand reach toward my head, plucking something off. "There, a leaf. All good, thanks." "You're welcome, boyfriend." At the word, boyfriend, my heart skipped a beat, even though I knew it was fake. "I'm heading up now. See you later, Alice." As I turned to leave, she called my name. I looked back, wondering what she wanted. "Good night," she said softly. I replied with a simple, "Good night." She smirked faintly, and I felt my heart race again. Quickly turning away, I hurried upstairs. And so, Barkley and I began acting like a normal, loving couple. At first, I was genuinely uncomfortable, but over time, I grew used to it, no longer as stiff or cautious as before. When my roommates found out about us, they said. No wonder that forum post looked familiar. It really was you. I just smiled without explaining that our relationship was fake. My phone buzzed under the pillow. Irritated, I fumbled for it with my eyes still closed. If you've got something to say, Maria, you'd better make it quick. I barked into the phone. Baby, it's me, came Barclay's sweet voice. Her constant use of baby had gone from making me cringe to feeling oddly normal. I'd mentioned it to her once, but she brushed it off, unconcerned. What is it, Barclay? I bought you breakfast. Come downstairs and get it. Are you serious? You're calling me in this freezing weather just for breakfast? Thanks a lot, I muttered sarcastically, dragging myself out of bed and heading downstairs. There she stood outside, graceful and poised, holding the breakfast. The cold had turned her hands and the tip of her nose bright red. Suddenly, my chest felt warm, as if melted hot chocolate were flowing through my heart. I walked over to her. Go ahead and eat upstairs. Then sleep. She handed me the food, and as our fingers brushed, I felt how cold hers were. You really don't have to do this, Barclay, I wanted to say, ready to remind her that we weren't a real couple. But seeing the unmistakable disappointment in her eyes, the words caught in my throat. What I mean is, it's too cold outside. You didn't have to wake up so early to buy me breakfast. Her eyes lit up at my words. It's fine, I'm not cold. Without another word, I pulled a pair of fluffy gloves from my pocket and slipped them onto her hands. Hurry back inside, and don't do this again. It's freezing. With that, I turned and headed back upstairs. Truthfully, some of Barclay's actions made me wonder if she actually liked me. But whenever I thought about it, I couldn't figure out why someone as beautiful and accomplished as her, the belle of the department, would be interested in me. I didn't think I had the charm to attract her. Yet, over the past month, she'd acted every bit like a devoted girlfriend. Gentle, caring, and affectionate, as though we were truly dating. Arg, it was driving me crazy. I wanted to talk to Maria about it, but I couldn't reveal that our relationship was fake. I was losing my mind. In the blink of an eye, December was almost over. Barclay and I had been together for a month and a half, leaving us with just half a month left. Baby, there's a department dinner tonight, so I won't walk you back to your dorm after class. Okay? That evening, I was lounging in my dorm, binge-watching shows on my tablet when my phone rang. Picking it up, I saw it was Barclay. Hello? No response. Hello, Barclay? A stranger's voice answered. Hi, are you Barclay's boyfriend? She's had too much to drink and keeps insisting on seeing you. We didn't know what else to do. So can you come pick her up? I'll send you the address. Okay, thank you. 15 minutes later, I arrived at their location. Barclay was slumped over the table. Her face flushed, clearly. She'd had quite a bit to drink. Barclay, one of the girls shook her gently. Don't move me. I need to call my baby. She mumbled, reaching for her phone. After muttering something incoherent, she lowered her head again. I approached her. Barclay. She looked up at me, her eyes glassy and unfocused, then pouted pitifully. Baby, you weren't there, they all bullied me? The others chimed in. Hey now, we were just eating, don't go twisting things. I tugged at her arm, but she wouldn't budge. Let me drive you two back to her place. It's late, and the school gates will probably be locked by now, I suggested. One of the girls spoke up. Barclay has a place outside campus. I didn't even know she had one. I checked my phone. It was almost closing time. Alright, thanks for letting me know. The girl dropped us off at Barclay's place and left, saying she needed to take the others home. I supported Barclay, her arm draped over my shoulder while I held her steady by the waist. Barclay, wake up, I urged. You shouldn't drink if you can't handle it. What's the door code? I patted her cheek lightly. What's the password for the lock? She blinked groggily at me. Baby, I resisted the urge to shake her. The password, what is it? She sluggishly punched in the numbers, and the door clicked open. The apartment was compact, a one-bedroom but fully equipped with everything needed. I helped her onto the couch, utterly exhausted despite it being winter. Water, thirsty, she murmured. Sighing, I fetched her a glass of water. Here, drink this. She trembled as she raised the cup to her lips, taking a sip before breaking into a violent cough. Her already flushed face turned an even deeper shade of red. I quickly took the cup from her hands and patted her back gently. Are you feeling better? She didn't respond, only lowering her head to cough a few more times. After she finished, she suddenly stared at me intently. What's wrong? I asked. She remained silent, as if the alcohol had finally caught up with her. I waved my hand in front of her eyes to check if she was still lucid. Suddenly, she grabbed my wrist and pulled me down onto her lap, wrapping her arms tightly around my waist. She buried her face into my chest, her wine-scented breath brushing against my collarbone. My heart raced like it was about to leap out of my chest. "Alice," she murmured softly. "Barkley, let go. You've had too much to drink," I said, patting her hands lightly, but she refused to release her grip. I gave up struggling and let her hold me. Fine, if this is what she wants, then so be it. Truthfully, I wasn't putting up much of a fight anyway. Over the past month and a half, without realizing it, I'd slowly started to develop feelings for her, but I kept lying to myself. After all, our agreement would end in just half a month, and everything would return to how it was before. Why not indulge in this moment of weakness? I wrapped my arms around her, feeling her body stiffen briefly before relaxing. We stayed like that for a while, quietly embracing. Just as I thought she might have fallen asleep, I suddenly felt a warm sensation on my collarbone. My body froze as the touch moved upward, trailing along my neck until it finally stopped at my chin. I lowered my head to meet her glistening, tear-filled eyes. Her expression was a mix of wronged innocence and vulnerability. Looking at her like this, I couldn't help but imagine myself turning into a heartless jerk, taking advantage of her in such a tempting situation. "Baby?" I called softly, but she didn't respond. "Baby?" I tried again. Still no answer. "Husband?" Could this be the legendary, 3 parts drunk act that makes women cry? "Barkley, who am I? You're my baby? Who else could my baby be?" "Alice." Crap, I really want to kiss her. What do I do? I reached up and pinched her soft cheek. Why is her face so soft too? It felt like I was the one getting drunk instead of her. If this went on any longer, I feared I wouldn't be able to control myself. "Barkley, let me go to bed." "No." I wondered if she was truly drunk or just pretending. "It's late. Let's sleep. Be good and let go." "Wah, you're being mean to me." Clearly, she was genuinely intoxicated, refusing to let go but also refusing to sleep. How had I never noticed how troublesome she could be? Eventually, I gave in and let her hold me, feeling my eyelids grow heavy as I drifted off. 60D, are you asleep? Can I kiss you? Something soft and slightly cool pressed against my lips, carrying a faint trace of alcohol. The kiss lingered for what felt like forever before she finally pulled away. "Alice, baby." When I opened my eyes, the first thing I saw was a chest, and, embarrassingly, my own arms were still wrapped tightly around her waist. What's going on with this password? How did we end up sleeping like this? Trying to slip away unnoticed, I carefully shifted downward. "Don't move," came a hoarse whisper from above. "If I stay still, does that make me a turtle?" I joked, but continued moving anyway. Just as I was about to free myself from her arms, she tugged the blanket up higher. I said, "Don't move. If you move again, you'll face the consequences." This time, I froze completely. Even if I haven't eaten pork, I've seen pigs run. "Be good and sleep a little longer," she whispered, planting a soft kiss on my forehead. Eyes wide open, I lay there thinking, didn't we fall asleep on the couch? How did we end up in bed? Lost in thought, I eventually drifted back to sleep. When I woke up again, Barkley was gone. I got out of bed and walked toward the living room. "Awake? Hungry? There's a new toothbrush in the bathroom. Go freshen up, then come eat," she said, bustling around the table. Watching her, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was what it might be like to live with a spouse. Realizing where my thoughts were heading, I quickly shook my head. "What are you thinking, Aliciane? You too are fake." During breakfast, Barkley kept looking as though she wanted to say something but hesitated each time. "What's wrong?" I finally asked. "Nothing. Finish eating first. We'll talk later." We both lowered our heads and ate in silence. Afterward, she cleared the table and sat me down on the couch. Her serious yet slightly nervous demeanor made me tense. "Did something happen?" I asked. "Alice, let's end our agreement early." At her words, I froze. Logically, I should have been relieved, even happy, but why did I feel this heavy ache in my chest? I stayed silent for a long time. "Alice," she called my name. Okay, I agree. Since it's over, I'll leave now." I hurriedly stood up, my mind racing and tangled. "Alice, look into my eyes." She grabbed my hand. "Aliciane, I like you. I don't want you to pretend to be my boyfriend anymore." Still reeling from the shock of ending our agreement, her confession left me rooted to the spot. To be honest, I've liked you for a long time, but I was too scared to say anything. So, after that incident, I asked you to pretend to be my boyfriend. But as the end date drew closer, I grew more and more afraid. I knew this kind of relationship would eventually have to come to an end. I thought about enduring it and telling you later, but I couldn't hold back anymore. I like you, a lot. Can you be my real boyfriend? I was utterly stunned, speechless for a long moment. Seeing me stay silent, Barclay's eyes began to well up with tears. Alice, say something, she pleaded. Do you really like me? I finally managed to ask. If I'm lying, she didn't get to finish because I quickly covered her mouth with my hand. All right, I agree. This time, I let myself lean into her completely. For a while, neither of us spoke. My gaze fell on those lips I'd wanted to kiss since last night. And without hesitation, I leaned in, pressing my mouth against hers. Her lips were soft, just as I'd imagined, perfectly kissable. Just as I was about to pull away, she suddenly tightened her arms around my waist and deepened the kiss. Holding it for what felt like forever, I could barely catch my breath, so I gently pushed her away. Reluctantly, she released me, her face glowing with emotion. I really like you, she whispered, resting her chin on my shoulder as she held me close. I like you too, I murmured back. We tidied up and headed out. While waiting for the elevator, she reached out and hooked her finger around mine, slowly intertwining our fingers until they were fully laced together. The elevator doors opened, and we stepped inside hand in hand. From that day on, Barclay and I officially began our sweet, loving relationship. She remained as gentle and caring as ever, just a little clingy. But honestly, I loved it. Happy times always seemed to fly by. And before we knew it, senior year had arrived. She insisted that I move in with her. But I refused. That year was incredibly busy for me. My internship was far from where she lived. Yet every single day, without fail, she drove me to work and picked me up after. Not once did she miss a day. By graduation, we were living together, enjoying a life filled with love and laughter. One evening, as we cuddled on the couch watching a movie, I suddenly asked her, back when we were online dating, how did you know it was me? I've been dying to know. Do you remember the first time you played support? The time you duoed with Maria? I nodded. I was sitting right behind you. But I didn't suspect anything at first. Your voice and tone just sounded strangely familiar. Then, one day, I logged on and saw you online. I sent you a friend request. But you rejected it, saying you had to go. Except, you didn't log off. The next day, during a 5-player match, you actually picked support again. I was shocked to see you take Amelia. I worried you wouldn't know how to play and mess things up for us, but turns out you were pretty good. And then you did it again another time. She paused, tightening her grip on my hand. There was one day when I wasn't feeling well and kept dying. You ignored me even when the marksman called you over. Do you remember? I nodded, guilt creeping in. I was really uncomfortable, so I logged off. Then you asked for my Facebook, and I gave it to you. A little while later, someone knocked on the door. It was a delivery. I hadn't ordered anything, but when I opened it, there was medicine inside. I asked everyone, and no one admitted to ordering it. But aside from them, the only person who knew I wasn't feeling well was you. So I asked you, and it turned out to be true. To be honest, I was really touched, she said softly. But after that, you kept teasing me with flirty comments. Yet whenever it came to playing support, you never teamed up with me. I started thinking you were some kind of player. One day, I went back to school to pick something up and ran into you again. At the cafe where we'd planned to meet. You didn't have your headphones on. And your mic was open. You were so focused, you didn't even notice me sitting next to you, even though I recognized you immediately. Oh, you sneaky thing, I laughed. So when I told you I wanted to start online dating with you, you already knew who I was? Yes. Come on, admit it. You were smitten by my charm back then, weren't you? She didn't deny it. I just thought you seemed like such a quiet, obedient boy. How could you flirt so smoothly? And then you pulled that huge prank on me, pretending to be someone else online. Honestly, I couldn't believe you stooped so low. Why didn't you reply to me that night? I asked, still puzzled. I thought you were way too handsome to be messing around with online dating. At first, I considered refusing, but then I thought, if I didn't agree, you might find someone else. What if you ended up meeting some bad guy? So I decided to give in. During that time, I was preparing for a competition and occasionally returned to campus. Coincidentally, I kept running into you. Over time, I found myself wanting to see you more and more. Then, when I finally worked up the courage to ask you to meet, you rejected me. I was disappointed, but I didn't want to push you. After that, I threw myself into the competition. But every day, I wanted to message you. I rarely came back to school, so I hardly saw you. Instead, I started sending you food deliveries and even had the delivery guy take pictures of you for me. You're such a stalker, I teased. The third time, you finally agreed to meet me. I was so happy, but also nervous. What if you didn't like me after seeing me? I barely slept the night before, wondering if you felt the same mix of excitement and nerves that I did. The next morning, I got up early and dressed up nicely before heading to the cafe. I was both eager and anxious to see you. But just as I was full of anticipation, you looked at me with those sad puppy dog eyes and said, "You actually pulled that prank on me." When I saw your messages later, I laughed so hard. I never cursed anyone, I swear. So I asked my roommate, and it turned out she had been using my account those days. Thinking about it now still makes me laugh uncontrollably. You're laughing? You have no idea how heartbroken I was. I'm sorry, I said, trying to comfort her. I'll make it up to you. I promise. She pouted adorably. No excuses, you owe me big time. Alright, I chuckled, utterly charmed by her cuteness. Later, I returned to school in a daze, only to be dragged by my friends to a restaurant. Guess who I ran into again? This time, I desperately wanted to confront you, but I was afraid I'd scare you off. Instead, I saw you laughing with your friends, looking as radiant as a flower. Watching you smile so happily made me hesitate. Maybe I should just let it go, I thought, but after a few days, I couldn't resist anymore. I wanted to hear your voice, see you, hold your hand. In the end, I decided to go find you. As you know, getting your phone number and finding out where you were wasn't hard for someone like your girlfriend. Oh, stop showing off, I teased. My girlfriend is the best. Hands down. The rest, as they say, is history. Thank goodness I went to find you that day. Thank goodness we didn't miss our chance. She squeezed my hand tightly. Thank you, Barkley, and I love you. What did you say? I can't hear you, she teased, grinning mischievously. I love you, she repeated louder. Yeah, I heard you.